You're now entering the No Bull Zone, sponsored by Credible. Great rates, none of the Bulls. The Milwaukee Bucks, 3 or 4 games ago, Chris Middleton, their number 2 scorer, and a big reason why they won the championship last year, he got hurt. And, my thought was, these games they're going to get close. I still like Milwaukee, I said, but they're going to be close games. I'll take Giannis to just sort of make plays late to win. Well, that's not what happened. Chris Middleton got hurt, and Giannis, easily the best player in the league, put the team on his shoulders, and they crushed Chicago in 3 straight games. At one point last night, they led by 29. Chicago's not a terrible team. It's so obvious now that Giannis is the best player. I'll put some stats up. I don't want to bore the radio audience, and these are, there's a lot of numbers here, and it'll overwhelm you. But there are some numbers in the postseason that are very LeBron James numbers. He's given you 29, 13.5, and 6 this postseason. No players ever reach those marks ever in the postseason. His plus-minus better than anybody else. His number 2 player goes out. We saw what happened when Phoenix lost Devin Booker. They're in a fight. We see that Memphis with Ja Morant, they're in a fight. They lose Chris Middleton and crush Chicago. And they play Boston next. And Milwaukee has a size advantage. Boston's a very good defensive team. Now, we all think Jason Tatum is a great player. I think he's a top 7, 8 player in the league. Certainly one of the better young players. If they didn't have Jaylen Brown, their second best player, you give them virtually no chance to beat Milwaukee. No chance. Milwaukee's not going to have their second best player. Kind of even money. Celtics slight favorite. That's a testament to how great he is. We've spent a lot of time talking about KD this week. Giannis is better than KD's ever been. I hate to break it to you. KD was never the best player in this league. Now, he was on the best team and was finals MVP. I'm not disputing that. But he was never better than LeBron in his prime. And I never think there's a year where he's been better than LeBron. Giannis is significantly better than LeBron today. Not close. Not close. Better defensively, not close. Better closer late, not close. Now that he can shoot and handle the ball, you also get much less drama. He's a significantly better player than LeBron. KD was never better than LeBron. And so KD gets a lot of attention. He's calling himself God now. Wonderful. But right now, Giannis is a better player than Kevin Durant. And Kevin Durant is trapped, and because Giannis did a deal that's more team-friendly and is easier to sort of work with and is not quite the emotional wanderer, Giannis is going to dominate, I would imagine, the East for years and years and years to come. Good luck with Ben Simmons and Kyrie, KD. But he is, right now, he has become, for years and years, we talked about this, and I was skeptical. I'm like, he can't shoot outside of like 6 feet. Does he handle the ball enough? Can he facilitate like a LeBron? Yep. Can do all that. So congrats to Milwaukee. I don't know about Boston without Chris Middleton. I think it's a really close series. We'll watch the first couple of games and have a take on that. Joy with the news. No. Jets and the 49ers are talking about Deebo Samuel. So I'm going to take it from both angles. The Jets do a lot of things poorly and have made a lot of terrible decisions, and they seemingly overpay for average players all the time. But Deebo Samuel to the Jets, let's take the Jets' perspective, is not a terrible idea. So let's look at the big picture. He's a really good player, and he's a star player for a franchise that doesn't have one. Buffalo is absolutely loaded. New England's got a great coach, the best ever, and Mac Jones in year 2. He'll be stabilized. And Miami, massive upgrade offensively. And you finished 4th last year. In fact, the Jets didn't finish just 4th last year. They finished 5 games back of 3rd place Miami, which was the largest gap in the league for any 4th place team. The top of your division's great, and New England and Miami are significantly better today. Yeah. What do the Jets do well? What are the Jets? You know what they are? Crossing their fingers that Zach Wilson, like they did with Sam Darnold, can pull them out of this mess. That's the franchise. I didn't like Robert Saleh as a hire. I said it at the time. Everybody in that division, he was never going to be better than Belichick as a head coach. Sean McDermott as a head coach. They're great defensive coaches. At the time, Brian Flores was a great defensive coach. So, we don't know about Miami's new coach. So let's just think about this. The Jets were blown out 8 times. They got 9 picks. They don't need 9 picks. What they need to do, this is what I would propose. I would give the 49ers my number 10 pick. They've got a 4 and a 10. Keep the 4. Go get an offensive lineman because they're moving off Mikael Becton. And get Deebo Samuel. Give the Niners the 10 and their 38th pick top of the second. So you're going to be, after the Tyreek Hill move by Miami and Kansas City, you're going to have to give up 3 picks. I'd give up the 10 pick. I'd give up the 38 pick and give up like a third rounder next year. Because you're still rebuilding. You don't want to give up all your picks. To me, this makes a lot of sense. A first rounder this year, a second rounder this year, and a third pick next year. That's about what you're going to have to give up. I mean, your head coach, you have no idea. My guess is won't work. Your roster's weak. The division's got a star team in it and the best coach in football history. And Miami made major upgrades. You do not do anything particularly well. Now, the good news for the Jets, though, is that you went and got a receiver last year named Elijah Moore. He looks really interesting. And you also went and got a running back, Michael Carter, and he looks really interesting. So you don't need to go with your first pick or your second pick or your third pick. You don't have to go running back. It's an offensive league. You got your quarterback, right? So you like your quarterback, you like your running back, you like Elijah Moore. Going to have to draft one of those early picks, your left tackle. It's a great tackle draft. It's probably, of all the units in the draft, they have, with that 4 pick, what you need. And then what you need is not more draft picks. What you need is a star. Because Miami's got Jalen Waddle. Miami's got Tyreek Hill. I mean, Mac Jones' second year in Belichick. Buffalo. So I think it makes sense. Take a big swing. If by the end of tonight, you have the best or second best left tackle and Deebo Samuel, Jets win the night. It's legitimate. Then you've got your quarterback has a chance. Because you have to figure out, by the end of this year, can Zach Wilson play? Because next year, you're going to be a fourth-place team again. Third or fourth, my guess fourth. Deep fourth. Next year's a better quarterback draft, and you got to know by the end of this year, do we have our guy? How are you going to really know? Unless you give him somebody like Deebo Samuel, Elijah Moore, Michael Carter. It's like, all right, we couldn't move the ball much. Don't have the right guy. But you got to get an answer. In the NFL, teams have a lot of needs, right? Most teams, especially bad teams. But often the biggest need is just an answer at quarterback. The Giants have one. They won't admit it. Their coach and GM will. Their owner won't. So can Zach Wilson play? Give him Deebo Samuel, Elijah Moore, Michael Carter. You'll have an answer by Thanksgiving. But last year, 8 blowouts. You going to bail again on quarterback? You got to give this kid a fighting chance. That's a theme I always say on this show. If you're going to draft a quarterback high, you got to give him a fighting chance. So that's what I would do. So now let's take this from the San Francisco 49ers angle, because anybody could say, well, of course the Jets want Deebo Samuel. I mean, that's an easy one, Colin. So let's go. Let me ask all you 49ers a question. You give up Deebo Samuel to the Jets, and you get the 10th pick draft. And remember, the Niners don't have any picks in the top 60. They don't have any picks. So you get the 10 pick and the 38 pick, top first, top second. So let's pretend it happens tonight. Here we go. The San Francisco 49ers, in a trade with the New York Jets, have drafted Drake London, wide receiver, USC. You have Brandon Ayuk, you have George Kittle, you have a great coach, nice offensive line. Your big needs, if you let go of Deebo Samuel, interior offensive lineman, cornerback, maybe another edge rusher, and wide receiver. He's got the biggest catching radius. My guy TJ Hushmanzada, who's pretty good with this stuff, been training with him, thinks he can be a star. Many think he's the first or second best receiver in the draft. And now we get to the second round, 38th pick. Here we go again. And with that pick, from the New York Jets, the Niners pick Nick Bonita from Oklahoma. Total stud athlete. Many believe he's the best pick in the second round. An edge rusher opposite Bosa. He also plays spy at quarterback for Kyler Murray. So now you have Bosa and a rookie edge rusher who many believe is the most explosive defensive player after the first round. He's got him a late first, early second. Oklahoma's had a few good linebackers in their day. He's a great one. So are you happy with that? You say, well, okay, because you like your coach, you like your GM, and you like your roster. But you don't have Deebo Samuel. But now I don't have Deebo Samuel drama. Now I have way more cap flexibility. Now I don't have a player who doesn't want to play running back, but frankly, he's really good at the running back thing. And when he plays running back, which he doesn't want to play, it actually makes him more effective. Otherwise, he's kind of an erratic player who a couple years ago played only 6 games. I don't feel terrible about it. I like my coach. I like my roster. I don't have any drama. By the way, Jimmy Garoppolo, by the trade deadline of next year, will not be a 49er. Somebody's quarterback's going down, so you can make another trade there and get a number 3 corner, get an interior offensive lineman. But right now you got a Deebo Samuel. It's a lot of drama. All of this stuff works if Trey Lance can play. It all works. If Trey Lance can play, Drake London works. We know the coach works. We know the running game works. We know the tight end's a Hall of Famer. If Trey Lance can play, then I got Bosa and another pass rusher. I have more cap flexibility.